Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine setting off on the road trip of a lifetime. Endless highways, complete freedom, and a future full of possibilities. Sounds perfect, right? But what if something unseen started following you? Something that doesn't just watch from a distance, but slowly takes control of your reality. Today we're breaking down Passenger, a supernatural horror thriller that transforms a simple road trip into a terrifying nightmare. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and now let's dive into the story. The movie opens on a lonely road late at night. Two friends, Daniel and Lucas, are driving through the darkness when they make an unexpected stop. Everything seems normal at first. But when Lucas steps away from the car and returns, Daniel is gone. The vehicle is sitting there with its doors open, the atmosphere feels wrong, and an uneasy silence fills the air. Lucas calls out for his friend but gets no response. Then suddenly, something horrifying happens. Daniel's body crashes into the windshield before an unseen force drags him back into the darkness. Right from the opening scene, the film makes it clear that this isn't an ordinary threat. Terrified, Lucas tries to escape, but before he can get away, he spots a strange figure standing in the middle of the road. Moments later, the figure is suddenly much closer. And that's when the real story begins. We're introduced to Maddie and Tyler, a young couple living the van life dream. They're traveling across the country, enjoying life on the road and chasing freedom. Tyler absolutely loves this lifestyle. To him, the open road represents adventure and independence. Maddie, however, isn't completely convinced. Deep down, she wants stability and a place to call home. This difference in perspective becomes one of the film's most important themes. One day, while driving through a remote area, they come across a crashed vehicle. Wanting to help, they stop and investigate. Unfortunately, this simple act of kindness changes everything. Maddie believes someone inside the vehicle is still alive. But the moment Tyler opens the door, a shocking accident occurs and Lucas is killed. The couple eventually leaves the scene, believing the nightmare is over. They're wrong. The next morning, Maddie discovers 3 deep claw marks carved into the side of their van. The exact same marks she saw on the crashed vehicle. Even stranger, their food has started rotting for no apparent reason. At first, they dismiss it as coincidence. But as the days pass, increasingly disturbing events begin to occur. They see figures standing on empty roads. They hear strange sounds at night. And reality itself starts feeling unstable. The most frightening part isn't the creature's physical attacks. It's the way it manipulates the minds of its victims. As their journey continues, Maddie and Tyler meet other travelers who tell stories about an ancient force connected to lonely highways and forgotten roads. Many people know it by one name: the Passenger. Determined to understand what's happening, the couple starts investigating the legend. Their search eventually leads them to stories about Saint Christopher, the patron saint of travelers. According to old legends, Saint Christopher once traveled alongside a mysterious companion who turned out to be something evil. Believing these stories may hold the key to survival, Maddie and Tyler begin carrying Saint Christopher medallions with them. For a short time, it seems to help. But the peace doesn't last. The Passenger soon returns stronger than ever. Now the entity isn't simply watching them. It's actively hunting them. One night, their van is violently shaken by an invisible force. No one is outside. Nothing can be seen. Yet it feels as if something enormous is trying to tear the vehicle apart. It's one of the film's most intense sequences and perfectly captures the feeling of helplessness that runs throughout the story. Eventually, the couple learns that there may be only one safe place left: a mysterious church connected to Saint Christopher. The problem is that the church doesn't appear on any map. To find it, they'll have to follow strange symbols and forgotten signs left behind by travelers who came before them. During their search, they meet a woman named Diana. Unlike everyone else, Diana seems to know exactly what they're dealing with. She reveals that many people have fallen victim to the Passenger over the years. Before she can provide much more information, tragedy strikes. The entity attacks and kills her, leaving Maddie and Tyler completely on their own. As they move closer to the church, the passenger becomes even more aggressive. It creates illusions. It manipulates reality. It shows them things that may or may not be real. At times, even the audience struggles to determine what's true and what's not. This is where the movie's psychological horror becomes most effective. The final act takes the couple deep into isolated desert landscapes where every step feels dangerous. Strange visions appear around them. Signs of death and destruction seem to be everywhere. But despite everything, they refuse to give up. Eventually, they reach the point where they must confront the evil that's been stalking them from the very beginning. The climax becomes a battle of faith, trust, and survival. It's not just about defeating a monster. It's about deciding what kind of future they want for themselves. At its core, Passenger suggests that freedom and stability aren't always opposites. Sometimes survival requires finding a balance between the two. As for my review, the movie's biggest strength is its atmosphere. The empty highways, isolated locations, and constant feeling of being watched create genuine tension. The performances are solid, and several scenes are genuinely creepy. However, the film occasionally struggles with its own mythology. The passenger's abilities aren't always consistent, which can make some parts of the story feel confusing. Still, the concept is unique, and the movie delivers enough suspense to keep horror fans invested. If you're a fan of supernatural horror, road trip thrillers, and mysterious folklore, Passenger is definitely worth checking out. If you enjoyed this review, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.